calling the special action meeting of January 30th, 2025. Order at 7:30 p.m. at Thomas Edison Eugene M. Banta Public Meeting Room, 37-01, Fairlawn Avenue, Fairlawn, New Jersey. There are 10 members of the public in attendance. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Baldovsky,
Here.
Dr. Bertolini,
Present.
Ms. Brown,
Present.
Mr. Aliyah,
Present.
Ms. Favolovich,
Present.
Mr. Santana,
Present.
Ms. Yerman,
Present.
Mrs. Mahan.
Present.
We have a quorum.
The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of the public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Fairlawn Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof distributed to the persons on the approved list, posted in the Board of Education Administrative Office, and sent to the Bergen Record and the Herald News. The announcement posting for the special action meeting, along with the date, place, and time thereof, was distributed on January 6, 2025. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to call Anthony Service to join us at the center. In front of you will be a copy of the questions that were provided on the agenda and provided to you, all candidates, earlier today. All questions will be read by our board secretary, Ms. Mancuso. You will have about 15 minutes to answer the 5 questions. Thank you for joining us and considering participating in our community's governance.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Good evening and welcome. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are interested in filling the open school board seat. Have you run for election for the school board? Why or why not?
So I'll start at the end. I have run for the election for the school board in 2020. I did not win. I also applied for an empty seat earlier than that year. It was a lot different. I was in the dark by myself with a mask on, if we remember. Some of us might remember. A little bit about myself. My name is Anthony. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I have 2 kids in the school system. My son is in 7th grade at TJ. My daughter is in 4th grade at Milnes. I've been a lifelong educator. I've worked in the same district for almost 20 years at a lot of different positions, everything from substitute to paraprofessional. I was the district school psychologist for about a decade. I was the director of special services for a little over 5 years, and now I'm in my 3rd year as the high school vice principal. While I was there as the school psychologist, I coached several different sports at Leonia, both as the assistant and the head coach of wrestling and softball, football, volleyball. So I've always been very involved in all facets of the educational system. I think I know schools and how schools work very well, from the back end to the front end, academics, sports, arts. I have had experience in a little bit of everything. Why I'm running, I do believe in community service. I believe in giving back. I absolutely love this community. I moved here in 2017. Best decision that my family has ever made. The town is fantastic. The school district is fantastic. I don't see myself as running for this position because I need to be some sort of savior or that I need some big agenda push. I think everything is really great. I really am very happy with the school system. I'd like to be a part of maintaining that and keeping it running and keeping it going well.
What do you believe are the greatest challenges currently facing the school district? What do you see as the board's role in addressing those challenges? What do you see as the administration's role in addressing those challenges?
So I'm going to start with, there are things that that I hear in the community because I am very involved. I coach recreation sports in town as well. Um, have a lot of friends. I have friends who have kids in all different elementary schools, both middle schools, even some high school students. So I'll start with again. So I'm saying this in not having any inside information, but I do hear that crowding in some of the schools is still an issue. I have a few friends at Radburn that were complaining to me that certain classes, art, music, were kind of moved. Those classes had to be taken over to make room for general ed classrooms. So I know that's still an issue. I'd like to know more about that and know the back end of that and try to be someone who can work towards solutions for that. I know that although we have a healthy budget and I believe we are doing well financially, there are some things coming down the pike that are just unknown things. We have a new president. We don't know how or if that will affect any of the federal or state funding. In a year from now, we're going to have a brand new governor. These are also an unknown that we aren't really sure. I think there's something like 4 or 5% of our budget is attributed to federal and state grants and funds. So that's just something that I think all school districts have to keep an eye on, but especially one as large as Fairlawn. What do I see as the board's role in addressing the challenges? I think the board's role is to create good policy and to make sure that the policy is, well, first that one exists for every given circumstance that may come up, and that it's solid policy and that it's policy that reflects the sort of culture of the community. What do I see as the administration's role in addressing those challenges? As an administrator of a high school, of a sort of middle-sized high school in Bergen County, I have to go back and say policy is so important. There are a lot of things that come up on a daily or weekly basis in the school system, and whether you put a call out to the superintendent or the attorney, and what do they always say? They say, "What is your policy?" So I know I know that it's sort of top down, right? The board creates the good policy, and then the administrators have to make sure that that policy is being enacted properly in the schools, and that the staff is also following that policy as well.
What do you see as the role of a school board member?
I think the role as it is created, what it's supposed to be, is to create and maintain the policy of the school district. I think another role is to evaluate and to hire the superintendent. I think that's really the main function and the two main functions of what a board is supposed to be. Now, I know in modern times and in certain areas of the country that it's more than that, but I'm not a real big believer that the board should play a larger role. There is one other area that I think board members can play or can take part in, which is because we are in the community, because we have, whether either we have kids in the community or we had kids or we know people who do or we volunteer in other areas of the community, we hear things, and we hear whether it's complaints or we hear, issues that are coming up. And I think, and I'm not talking about very specific issues like little Johnny's, math teacher gave him a bad grade and let's go talk to the superintendent about that. I'm talking about systematic issues within the district. And I think as long as the chain of command has been followed and the people who have issues with certain things have gone through that channel and talked to the building, teacher, administrator, et cetera, I do think there is some role for the board to kind of voice that, to be a voice for the public when it comes up. But policy, evaluating, hiring superintendents, and then also just kind of being an ear to the community, maybe bringing some things to the attention of the superintendent or other board members that are issues.
What issues or concerns do you have regarding the school district's operations?
So as I said, I don't think that I have any specific issues or concerns from Fairlawn. But having been an educator my whole life and being in it right now, I know that there are some global things that are going on in schools that are very concerning. We have been asked, when I say we, educators have been asked to do more and more and more as the years have gone on. We are expected to be teachers, to be babysitters, adjudicators, mental health professionals. I mean, you name it. It seems like every year they're from the top down. They're putting more and more on educators. When you couple that with the fact that we are, at least in New Jersey, in a massive teacher shortage, especially in certain areas, math and science and certain parts of special education, that poses a real problem. The district I work in right now, we have 3 science openings. We cannot fill those positions. They are extremely hard to find. If you are a science teacher in the state of New Jersey that's halfway decent, you can basically pick what school district you want to work at. So the concern is just that we continue to operate at a very high level and that we provide a sort of experience for our teachers and our educators, and it's a place that they want to work so that we can hire good people and retain them. I think the goal of a school district is to find and hire really good people that could then go work anywhere, but then don't and want to stay in your district. And that's a challenge. That's a very big challenge. Money is not the only piece of that. Money is a big part of it. It will vary from person to person, but people also want to feel respected, valued, heard. And those are things that the school district and the administration, all the way up to the superintendent and the board, have to be aware of and have to make sure that that's happening. And we could play a hard line on that and say, this is the job and this is the salary and this is the thing, but we will find ourselves in 2, 5, 10 years in a bad place if we're not careful, because as I said, certain positions are very difficult to fill, and there are very few people out there looking to fill those positions.
And the last question is, what areas would you like to see strengthened in our district?
If I had to pick one thing that I wish was a little bit better, a little bit more positive, and a little awkward to say this in front of everyone, but it is what it is. I think there is sort of this reputation there that the Board of Ed sometimes doesn't always get along, that they are arguing in public. They're not arguing in a respectful, professional manner. And I hear that a lot. I hear it often. I sometimes see it when I watch meetings. I just want to be someone that can help in that can just be a positive force on the board, that can be a professional, that can be respectful. I don't mind disagreeing with people, and I like to disagree with people, or I like to argue with people when I think it's valid, but I think there's a way to do it respectfully. And it goes back to the answer to my previous question. If people start to view the Board of Ed as unstable, as dysfunctional, that's going to affect the district in a major way. People aren't going to want to come and work for us. People aren't going to want to live here. So I think the reputation and that the board has is important. And so if I had one area to strengthen, it would be that. And I think I have a really good skill set to do that. I know schools very well. I work with some people on this board I've had relationships with. I've known people, I know a lot of people in town. I think that I have a good reputation, one that's positive, one that's professional, and I'd like to bring that to the board.
Anthony, thank you.
Good. Thanks.
All candidates, please know that you are welcome to stay. However, you guys found out about this, about a week ago. So if you do have other commitments or somewhere else to be, you will be able to review and watch on YouTube, and then the candidate who is voted for the vacancy tonight will be notified by myself and Dr. Dionisio. Ms. Maranganti, please join us.
Good evening.
Sankey Maranganti,
Yes, hello.
thank you so much for joining us tonight
Thank you.
and for showing your interest. And we appreciate your possible commitment to our community school governance.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Ms. Mancuso.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are interested in filling the open school board seat. Have you run for election for the school board? Why or why not?
So I am a proud graduate of the Fairlawn school system. I graduated in 2015, and I was, very heavily involved in the honors and advanced placement class. I had, all these extracurriculars lined up. I was part of all these honor societies and community service organizations. I volunteered at the public library, which, our library is amazing. And I helped found a charity organization my senior year that raised, money for kids in need. So, I've always had a strong foundation of, high school wasn't just a place for classes, and this town isn't just, somewhere I live. I just wanted to be involved in the community. And I've carried that with me when I went to Stevens Institute of Technology, where I majored in engineering. And I had, because of the school system, I had a strong knowledge of math and science. And I had a well-rounded education where I was able to think critically about ethical issues and, not just be someone who was good at cranking out numbers. And I really am thankful for the Fairlawn School District that was able to provide that foundation for me. And now, I've graduated. I now work in the financial services industry. But I always still say that graduating from Fairlawn High School is my proudest achievement, because that has really established for me a foundation where I can use to carry further my educational and professional endeavors. And it's not just me. My family is also very heavily involved in the community. My sister recently graduated from Fairlawn High School as well. And she was, I think all of you probably know her, most of you know her. So she's a huge inspiration to me, and she was also very heavily involved. And my mom also is part of the Rotary and works for the TJ as a before care aide. So, like I said, Fairlawn is not just a place where we live, but it's a place where we want to be involved, and we want to see it be better than it is right now. And not to say that it's bad now; it's fantastic. But I'm filling this seat because I want every other student to have the same experience, if not a better experience, that myself and my sister had. I want everyone to, have a robust education in not just, one or two specific subjects, but I want them to have a well-rounded education that'll teach them to think critically and offer opportunities and extracurriculars that you may not find in many other high schools. And I will just end with saying, I never realized what a fantastic education and what a strong foundation Fairlawn High School has given me until I went to college. And I noticed that, not a lot of people were blessed with the same opportunities or the same foundation that I was. So again, immensely thankful to Fairlawn, and I'm hoping that it's my turn to give back now.
What do you believe are the greatest challenges currently facing this school district? What do you see as the board's role in addressing those challenges? And what do you see as the administration's role in addressing those challenges?
Sure. So we live in a very quickly evolving world, and I think we can all agree that technology is permeating every career path that we're seeing. So I think what our major goal should be to teach kids to survive in the real world. So not just, be good at a class or be good in your career, but to teach them to be well-rounded students and well-established members of society. I actually participate in my company's recruiting program, so I know the kinds of skills that employers are looking for. So I'm hoping that we can not only, give kids the opportunity to develop these skills early on, but create someone who, that we're really proud of, that they came from Fairlawn. And all of that starts early, so we should really be starting that probably sooner than college.
What do you see as the role of a school board member?
So I went to ChatGPT for this question. Yeah, right. So it told me that, school members should set achievable goals for a school district, develop policies that are beneficial to the majority, and advocate for public education. And I saw that and I thought, okay, great, that's true. But I think a common misinterpretation of this is that the board really just exists to be the mouthpiece and the executors of the administration's agenda items, or that they're there to, micromanage all of the teachers and students and, build them into a certain mold. But in reality, I really think that the school board members are supposed to be here to listen to and help the students, teachers, and staff. They really should be the bridge between the students and their goals and between the parents and the schools in order to improve and better our system. ChatGPT didn't say that. That's all for me.
What issues or concerns do you have regarding the school district's operations?
Yeah. COVID was a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. Hopefully once in a lifetime. We're going to knock on wood. And the school board did a great job of adapting to and helping our community recover from this event. But my concern or my hope is that we can learn from all of this and we can make sure that we're prepared for the next and future challenges that'll come our way, not just politically, but economically and financially. We need to make sure that we're prepared to face the challenges of tomorrow with the lessons we learned today. Things like what happens when our routine is disrupted again. Are we really capable of being able to operate in either a remote setting or, whatever comes our way? Are we prepared for what technology will bring us in the future? Are we making sure that the teachers have what they need to do their jobs? I think Mr. Service said earlier that we expect educators to be all of these things, and that's a bit of an unfair expectation that we placed on them. But how do we then mitigate that, or at least spread out those responsibilities so that we make sure our kids are well cared for?
What areas would you like to see strengthened in our school districts?
I think digital literacy, and I believe that's a term I coined myself, so please allow me to explain. We provide our high school students with laptops and styluses, and that's great, but there's been an ever-increasing gap of a lack of literacy in simple things like Microsoft Excel, like how to make sure you create a good PowerPoint template. I didn't even know about SlideMaster until I started working, actually. So it's things like this that are just going to help them utilize the tools that they have at their disposal in order to come up with more creative solutions and in order to present themselves in the best way. I would also like to strengthen the connection between the board and the community. I think in every district, there's always dissatisfied people or misunderstandings between board members or between the board and the community. And I actually see this as an opportunity for us to be able to bridge the gap and allow the community to better understand the processes and missions of the Board of Education. There's so many parents who are unable to attend, and remaining accessible to them is important. And it's amazing that we have all these YouTube sessions that we're able to put up. I actually did my research for tonight by watching some of those meetings. But I think having our community get to know the Board of Education members as people and not just as these vague figureheads that sit there and talk about things that are important to everyone. I think it's important to develop that personal connection and foster that understanding and just social cohesion between the board members and the community. Yes, thank you.
Sankey, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Ms. Sapola, is it Deanna or Diana? Oh, Diana. Diana. The floor is yours. Please join us. Diana, thank you for joining us this evening. Ms. Mancuso is going to ask you those same 5 questions, and we appreciate your interest in our community's board governance.
Well, thank you for inviting me for an interview.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are interested in filling the open school board seat. Have you run for election for the school board? Why or why not?
So I've been an educator for over 20 years. I've been a teacher. I've been a supervisor. I am currently enrolled in the doctoral program at Seton Hall University. My major is education leadership, management, and policy, which obviously this is exactly what the board does. I love children. I love Fairlawn. I've been actually in the house that I'm in since 2007, so I've been here almost 20 years. I also rented prior to that as well. I've been thinking about running for the Board of Education for several years now. However, I've been on other boards like the Association of Mathematics Teachers of New Jersey for like 21 years, and all positions, including being president. So Julie, I can really sympathize with all the things that you go through. Additionally, I was bylaws chair, and I'm very, very familiar with bylaws and policy and how a Board of Education operates. Additionally, I was also one of the National Council of Teacher Mathematics board member. So I clearly didn't have time to run for the board until now, because I'm no longer a board member for either one of those two organizations. I had planned on running in the fall, and then this position kind of came up. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to apply for it. So I love Fairlawn. I love the community. So.
Thank you. What do you believe are the greatest challenges currently facing this school district? What do you see as the board's role in addressing those challenges? What do you see as the administration's role in addressing those challenges?
So I think Mr. Service had kind of laid the foundation for some of this, but one of the big things that educators all over the country are facing is the unknown. We've already heard that the president originally wanted to get rid of the Department of Education. We've heard, we're going to have a new governor. This year is the first school year that the school funding has been fully funded for all the schools, and we have a cap of 2%. So I think one of the challenges is to figure out how we can get the budget and yet plan for upcoming things that are going to happen. We're going to have a new funding formula as well. So we have, I think, honestly, the biggest challenge is going to be figuring out the whole funding aspect of it. So, so I feel like that's probably the biggest challenge that Fairlawn will face, because you also have to plan for all of these events. And like I said, 2%, I mean, inflation's more than 2%. All costs go up more than 2%. So we're going to have to figure out how to manage the finances. And having a math background, I'm hoping that maybe I could put some good suggestions in, although that's not really necessarily the role of the board, but.
Thank you. What do you see as the role of a school board member?
So the school board is supposed to be writing the policies and passing the policies, whereas Dr. Denisio and his administrative team would be implementing those policies. Sometimes I find that board members end up trying to implement policy and kind of cross that line. That's not the role of a board member. Although I have to say, I don't know who put on Fairlawn's website, I love the first line about what the role of a board member is. I don't know who's responsible for that, but it's well put. And I think said something like, despite what many people think, the board member does not run the school, basically. So, and that, unfortunately, many people believe that that's the case, but that's not the case. It's the superintendent and the administrative, well, the superintendent mainly runs the school, but he has his administrative team and his staff and teachers all implement all the policies.
What issues or concerns do you have regarding the school district's operations?
Oh, you know what? Did I talk about the challenges, or I guess, okay. So one of the things that I feel like the operations, I live in the old section, which is where Forest School is. As we all know, Forest School is 100 years old. And that's probably true of a lot of the buildings in New Jersey. They're older buildings. So one of my concerns would be more along the lines of like, to see the long-range facilities plan and how we're keeping up with the buildings. Obviously, it's really important that, we maintain our buildings. That goes along with, students having, a great education and making sure that, they're feeling safe in our buildings. So I feel like that's one of the things that, although I have to honestly say, over the summer, Dr. Denisio did a great job in, keeping up with some of the buildings with some of his major projects. So I do know that we've been already investing in some of that. But we really do need to keep up with it. I think that's going to be an important part of it.
And lastly, what areas would you like to see strengthened in our district?
Well, I think a couple of things. One of the things is I'd love to see that the grading, the standards-based grading, is expanded to the secondary. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've been informed from members of the community, right now there's like a trial, there's a pilot program going on in, I think it's the 4th and 5th grade, if I remember correctly, on standard-based grading. I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I was misinformed, I'm not sure about that one. Additionally, what I would also like to see is preparation for AI, and I'm not saying it just because that's what my dissertation is on, AI in education, but I think it's real. I think there's an important component that I think many people may not be aware of, and that is data security. So we have to abide by like the FERPA laws, COPOLA laws. I'm obviously really concerned about all of those, so I'd like to see the technology aspect of it and the fact that students need to gain all of the technological knowledge for the future. And AI is here to stay, whether anybody likes it or not. So I think we're going to have to address some of those issues. I'm not sure if there's a plan for, say, let's say an ICE agent comes in, whether or not, if there's a plan in place for that. I think there should be. If there isn't, because that could be kind of scary. So for students, and I feel like as a board member, it's our responsibility to protect students and uphold, the laws and the Supreme Court cases such as Plyler versus Doe. So I feel like we have to protect our students as well. So, and these aren't necessarily targeting at Fairlawn. I think many of those really reflect many of the schools throughout the United States. I think Fairlawn does an excellent job. The board is phenomenal. And of course, we have an excellent superintendent. So, thank you.
Thank you. Amanda.
Hello, everyone.
Amanda, thank you for being here tonight and for your time and effort and your commitment to potentially supporting our community and school community governance.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are interested in filling the open school board seat. Have you run for election for the school board? Why or why not?
Thank you for this wonderful question. My name is Manda Pisarkar. I have proudly lived in Fairlawn for 23 years with a master's degree in chemistry. I'm a dedicated mother of 2 children who are both thriving in Fairlawn schools. My son graduated in 2020, and my daughter is on her way to graduation in class of 2025. As the director of global regulatory CMC at a large pharmaceutical company, I navigate the complexity of ethics and regulation daily. By applying FDA, European, international rules diligently, I contribute meaningfully to my company's policymaking. Having run for election 3 times, I have gained profound insight into the vital role of the board and unique contribution of each member. My experiences have highlighted the board's critical influence in shaping our school district's future, igniting my passion to support the board when an open position arose. I believe in giving back to this community, and my election campaign have connected me with many parents, grandparents, and community members who celebrate the strengths of our school district. I am a champion of educational excellence, committed to ensure our district support all types of learners, from those in special education to the gifted and talented. I envision creating equitable opportunity for all students, including a career CTE program for those pursuing paths outside the traditional college education. Fostering diversity and inclusivity within our community inspire me to stand against hate in all its forms, including anti-Semitism. I will advocate for the resources, and support for our faculty and staff deserve to succeed. My non-educational background allows me to bring an unbiased perspective to the table, and my understanding of marginalization fuels my commitment to creating a positive change with a rich blend of life and work experience. I am prepared to offer unique viewpoint on policy making and its implementation as a member of board.
What do you believe are the greatest challenges currently facing this school district? What do you see as the board's role in addressing those challenges? What do you see as the administration's role in addressing those challenges?
Thank you. The most significant challenge we face are overcrowding, a concerning student-to-teacher ratio, the urgent need to restrict cell phone and social media usage during the instructional time, and unnecessary expenditure in our budget. These challenges create an inadequate environment for both student and teacher. We must foster collaboration among teachers and Board of Education members to allocate resources effectively and hire additional teachers. For example, My daughter, who attends high school, has reported numerous empty classes. This indicates a clear opportunity to utilize available spaces and employ more teachers, thereby reduces the college class sizes and enhancing the learning experiences. Board member plays a crucial role as policymaker, and they have responsibility to bring community concern to the public meeting for comprehensive discussion and action. BOE serve as a vital committee that evaluates recommendation from staff and administrator regarding district operation, the development of budget for new facilities, maintenance, and curriculum improvement. After thorough deliberation, they take vote and directly impact on our educational landscape. It is essential to recognize that BOE is not merely an administrator body but a governing entity. Their primary function is to adopt policy in alignment with guidelines established by the New Jersey Department of Education. By effectively addressing these challenges, we can create a fairer, more productive educational environment for all students and staff.
What do you see as the role of a school board member?
Board members play crucial role as a policymaker, and they have a responsibility to bring community concern to public meeting for comprehensive discussion and action. Board members serves on a vital committees and evaluate recommendation from staff and administration and operation, the development of budget and new facilities. This is what our board policy written on the Fairlawn Board of Education website. It is essential to recognize the BOE is not merely an administrative body, but a governing entity. Their primary function to adopt the policy and alignment.
What issues or concerns do you have regarding the school district's operations?
I think this is a very unique timeline. Everyone is facing that there is a surge in our student population because of the child population is increasing, significantly impacting the class sizes, which could hinder the attention and learning outcomes. We need to expand our offering into the advanced placement courses and emphasizing on the STEM education. Furthermore, fostering the meaningful discussion about career pathway and in providing more internship opportunity for high school students are critical for their future success. It's essential that we prioritize community engagement and transparency to build and ensure our students receive the best possible education.
And lastly, what areas would you like to see strengthened in our school district?
I'm going to be a broken record today, and I would just say again that there are several areas I would like to see strengthened in our district. One is managing class sizes. It is important to reduce the overcrowding in the classroom to ensure better individual attention for our student. Again, the advanced placement opportunity for our high schooler. We could offer more AP courses at a high school level to challenge our student, to prepare them for college. And thirdly, I would say that career discussion, it is essential to provide career counseling that reflects the diverse background of our student. Additionally, we need to focus delivering improved outcome in both academic and athletic recognition. Managing diversity effectively should also involve providing the target academic support.
Amanda, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me here.
Julie. Kasoy? Kasoy, I apologize. Julie Kasoy. Kasoy, I just got it wrong again. I'm just gonna go with Julie. I know how to say that one well.
That works.
I'm pretty fluent on that one. Thank you so much for being here and for considering participation in our school community governance. Ms. Mancuso.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are interested in filling the open school board seat. Have you run for election for the school board? Why or why not?
Sure. Thanks for having me tonight. My name is Julie Casoy, the second Julie here. I am a resident of Fair Lawn for almost 16 years now. We came here in 2009. Proud mom of 3 kids, 2 of whom are here tonight learning the process. There you go. 2 who have graduated already from the school system, 1 who graduated here from Fair Lawn, another one who graduated from Bergen Academies, and my son is currently in the Fair Lawn High School. So I am an active parent of the Fair Lawn community. I came here right away, engaged in the PTA. I was served as the PTA president of Radburn for a few years, involved in committees and events and various councils and things, and I've always had a great experience. What else background about myself? I have a degree in finance, so my background is in finance and budget administration and grant administration. I am currently a grants manager at Ramapo College, so it's been an interesting week for us in higher education. So I have about 16 years of experience in higher ed, which I think brings an interesting perspective to the board. What else about me? A bilingual Russian-English speaker, so which is a fun thing in this community. I kind of travel incognito because I don't have an accent, but it was kind of fun to move here to Fair Lawn and find all these Russian speakers that I didn't know were here. So that was great. I haven't run for the board in the past. My personal and professional commitments sort of did not allow me to do that, but I'm happy to say that I have the time, and when this came open, I was excited to jump at the opportunity.
What do you believe are the greatest challenges currently facing this school district? What do you see as the board's role in addressing those challenges? And what do you see as the administration's role in addressing those challenges?
Sure. I am going to steal a quote from somebody else who said the role of the board is not to run the schools, but the role is to make sure the schools are run well. So that is something that I think everybody here has already echoed tonight, the idea to set policies and procedures, and that is something that I do every day in grants administration, is making sure that we have rules, that we have our plans in place, that people can refer to, that can fall back on, that can lean on when they need to make decisions. The greatest challenges, I think, facing the school district are the same that facing many other districts, which is well-being of the students, mental health, the pressures that the students are facing really at this point, from the youngest who didn't start school during COVID time and are catching up now, to the high schoolers who in all different varieties are experiencing pressures from having to excel academically while balancing all kinds of responsibilities, those who are going to college and going other places. So it's really helping all of the students in all of the different levels of school maintain that good social emotional health and wellness, and be able to support each other in a diverse community like we have here.
What do you see as the role of a school board member?
Well, I think I answered that question last time, but I'll back up a little bit because I didn't answer the role of the administration. Again, it's I think it really is a collaborative. It has to be a collaborative environment for the Board of Ed to help set those policies, the procedures, to look at what the needs are of the community, to be the eyes and ears, where the administration are really the boots on the ground. They are the ones who are in the schools, who have that face time with the students, with the faculty, with the staff, and understanding what those needs are, and then working together to make sure that both the needs of the students, both the needs of the families who live here. Again, as a child of an immigrant family, I have personally, experienced those who I was lucky enough to be able to make it through the school system without any issues, but there are parents who don't know how to advocate, don't know when they should advocate, don't know what avenues they have. So that's really, I think, a job of the Board of Ed, is to help make sure that all of those voices are heard, to make sure that all of the students across the board in our district, their needs are met, and then so that the administration can then carry those out. And again, that will look differently in an elementary school than it will in the high school. So using those policies and things in place to best implement for the best, the good of all the students.
What issues or concerns do you have regarding the school district's operations?
Operations is a very all-encompassing term. So that could mean a lot of things. Me personally, again, I have a background in budget and finance. I think, as many people have echoed here, we don't know what the future holds. We have, as right now, this week has been very challenging with grant funding suddenly disappearing and still, being able to fill the needs for the students in higher ed. I'm sure the same exists here. Well, we don't know what's coming down the pike next week, next month, next year, 5 years from now. So I think that's one of the challenges, really, to the operations, to make sure that funding is secure, to make sure that we're looking outside the box, thinking creatively, that if we do lose some streams of funding from the government, how else can we continue to provide the great education that we are already providing, and how can we pivot or act differently or just be prepared to think creatively to continue to provide the services that we are, both to the students who need special help and to the students who are, again, taking those AP classes and reaching for those highest caliber schools. We really do need to make sure we're addressing all of their needs in the most creative and functional way possible, I think.
And lastly, what areas would you like to see strengthened in our district?
I think our district is great, first of all. I think it's terrific. It's really been wonderful since we moved here. I'll echo what everyone has said. It's a community. It's a really well-knit community. My kids grew up in the Radburn School, and one of the great things is it's almost like a 1950s style where everyone shows up to drop off and pick up, and it's a very organic sort of feeling of play dates just happen. Kids go home with each other afterwards. So it's to continue to foster the melting pot that is our community. So we have, again, kids from a lot of different backgrounds, families even more so from a lot of different backgrounds coming in. So I think for faculty, for staff, for students to really gain a better understanding of each other, everyone in the different backgrounds they come from, and the different resources that we have in place to make sure everyone is aware of things that the school can do for their students, that opportunities that they can do for their families. And I think that would be, it's already strong, but I think we can only continue to make that stronger. And frankly, the kids that are starting in kindergarten and leaving the high school, they're all following different paths. It's not just everyone's going to college, so we're just focusing on the kids and getting into the best schools. So some will go to work, some will pivot and go to other things, some will go to different colleges, and there's no one right or wrong way to do it. So we want to make sure that we are building good citizens of the world, that we are giving all the kids the opportunities that they need to succeed in whatever their future holds for them after they leave the Fairlawn school system.
Julie, thank you.
Thank you.
Stella. Stella Lemberg. Thank you so much for joining us this evening and considering participation in our school community's governance.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to the board for the consideration and the opportunity. I really am grateful to be a part of this process. Before we start with the questions, I just want to say thank you very much. I'm grateful to be here.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are interested in filling the open school board seat. Have you run for election for the school board? Why or why not?
Okay, it's a great question. And I have notes with me because a scout is always prepared. I have lived in Fairlawn for over 14 years. I have a bachelor's degree in finance from the state of Connecticut, Western Connecticut State University. And I have 3 children in different stages of education. My youngest daughter attends Millens Elementary. My middle daughter is at Thomas Jefferson School. And my oldest son, he's currently at Ridgewood Montessori School. He is transitioning to Fairlawn High School in September, so he's very excited to be a part of Fairlawn Schools. As a parent, I have firsthand experience navigating the educational system and challenges facing families today. I have children of all different educational backgrounds, so I see that each child is an individual. Professionally, I serve as a partner and insurance producer at ABA Insurance Agency, a division of Pinnacle Risk Solution. My role requires strategic planning, resource management, and collaboration, which are directly did I do something? No, it wasn't you. I'm sorry. Okay. Which are directly applicable to the responsibilities of the board that is currently here. You know, financial stability of the education system is important, and I have that background. I've also led community-focused initiatives. Many of you know that I'm the president of the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce, and I help run many community events, which take a lot of organization, financial ability, reading bylaws, and understanding how to run an organization like the Chamber of Commerce. I'm also a trustee on the Fair Lawn Arts Council, an assistant scoutmaster for a Boy Scout troop in Fair Lawn, and of course, a very proud Rotarian. Those are some of the organizations that I'm a part of. I ran for Board of Education in 2021 because I wanted to advocate for mental health resources, academic programs, and parent engagement, which is really important to me as a parent myself. Although I was not elected, the experience deepened my understanding of district priorities and reinforced my commitment to ensuring every student in Fair Lawn has access to opportunities for success. I'm eager to join the strong team of board members if I'm lucky to do so, working together to bring meaningful and collaborative solutions to our schools.
What do you believe are the greatest challenges currently facing this school district? What do you see as the board's role in addressing those challenges? And what do you see as the administration's role in addressing those challenges?
One of the district's main challenges is expanding after-school programming. It's something that has been discussed in the board meetings in the past. Improving access to STEM opportunities, introducing more career-oriented and vocational pathways to meet the diverse needs of students. These programs are essential to preparing students for future success and addressing gaps and opportunities outside the traditional academic settings. Another ongoing challenge is ensuring that the district continues to build on its recent improvements in mental health services. As the district has made progress in this area, it is important to maintain and expand programs that address the social and emotional well-being of students. Budget constraints and resource allocations further add complexity to this issue. The board's role is to provide strategic oversight by setting policies and allocating resources that prioritize these needs while allowing the administration to implement the necessary changes. The administration's role involves developing and managing programs, collaborating with educators and staff, and regularly updating the board on progress. Collaboration is key to overcoming these challenges, and I hope to be a team player in helping the district achieve these goals.
What do you see as the role of a school board member?
It's definitely a great question, and I'm so happy to answer it. A school board member's role is to act as a steward of the community's educational system by governing, not managing, the district's daily operations. Through policy development, strategic planning, and budget approval, board members help guide the district toward academic excellence and overall success. Again, collaboration is key. Members serve on committees to review recommendations on curriculum, budget allocation, facilities management, and more. These committees ensure decisions are well-informed and reflect the needs of students, staff, and families. Additionally, a board member acts as a liaison, represents the interests of parents and students while respecting the chain of command. They must understand that operational concerns are handled by staff and administrators, with board members providing oversight and intervening only as a last resort. Above all, a school board member must prioritize students' well-being, act with integrity, and ensure the district remains transparent and accountable to the community. I look forward to working collaboratively with board members, administrators, and families to achieve our shared vision.
What issues or concerns do you have regarding the school district's operations?
I'm concerned about the consistency of after-school programming and ensuring that students across all grades have access to engaging and enriching activities. After-school programs provide important academic support and social interaction, and expanding options would be better serve students and families. Another area of concern is the development of STEM programs at all levels. Early exposure to science, technology, and engineering and math is critical. We must ensure that all students have access to hands-on learning opportunities. I also believe we should strengthen career-oriented, as I mentioned before, career-oriented and vocational programs so students that graduate with practical skills, regardless of their post-graduation plans. Not everyone plans to go to college, and it's important that we provide the opportunities for these students. Transparency with parents is an ongoing concern. Families should feel informed and engaged with district decisions affecting their children. Lastly, I'm committed to ensuring that the district's mental health initiatives continue to develop and grow, building on the foundation laid by former board member Mark Spindell. By working as a team, I'm confident that we can address these concerns in supporting district growth and improvement.
And lastly, what areas would you like to see strengthened in our school district?
As a parent with children in Fairlawn schools, I understand the wide range of needs and challenges the students and families face. My family included my youngest daughter, who currently has an IEP, entered the school system in first grade. She did not even know her letters due to her issue and the reason that she has the IEP. But now, with the help of the resource room and the Fairlawn School, she's thriving and reading to me. So I'm really grateful for that for my youngest daughter. My middle daughter is loving her opportunities to learn in the middle school, and she's thriving there as well on a different level than my youngest daughter. My oldest son is so excited for STEM opportunities that may be there at the high school level and potentially vocational studies. He had an opportunity to apply to other schools for high school, but he said that he wants to give Fairlawn an opportunity because he feels they have the programs and the opportunities that can grow in the school, and he wants to be in Fairlawn and grow with Fairlawn. With these varied experiences, I can see different perspectives of parents in our community and hope to continue learning from them. I would like to see the district expand its career-oriented programs and vocational electives, ensuring that students who may not follow traditional academic pathways still have access to valuable hands-on learning experiences. Strengthening STEM programs at every level is equally important to students develop in critical thinking and problem-solving skills they need in the future careers. Additionally, not to harp on this issue, after-school programming should be expanded to provide students at all schools with a broader range of enrichment, academic support, and extracurricular options. These programs benefit both students and working families. Having something for the children to do after school can lift a burden, financial burden for families, and it will increase the opportunities for learning for the students. And lastly, mental health initiatives should continue to grow and adapt to meet evolving student needs. A lot has happened, and we're still trying to fix what happened with COVID within mental health. It's going to take time, and we need to continue to work on that. It is vital that these programs remain a priority to support students' overall well-being. Improving communication and transparency between the district and parents will help foster that trust and collaboration. Ensuring that families remain active parents and partners in their children's education. Working together is essential to creating the environment where every student can thrive. And that is how I feel that we can strengthen the school district.
Stella, thank you.
Thank you again for the opportunity. I'm so grateful to be here, and wish all the candidates all the best.
Thanks so much. Last but not least, Nicholas Nombre. I know. So waiting. Nick, thank you for being here and for considering participation in our community school governance.
Good evening.
Nick Russo.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are interested in filling the open school board seat. Have you run for election for the school board? Why or why not?
Okay, good evening. Thank you, everyone, for having me here tonight. Appreciate it. So I've been in Fairlawn for about 30 years, almost my whole life. I came here when I was in first grade. My parents sought out a town with a good school district, right? So they picked Fairlawn naturally. Fast forward that sentence, 30 years later, and that's still the case now. We talk to people, wait, why do you like Fairlawn? Why do you want to be here? And a main reason is because of this educational system, and that's a real kudos to the board members of the past and the present, right? That you guys are maintaining a district for this many years. I started Milnes, I went in Milnes School. After that, I was in Thomas Jefferson, a proud graduate from Fairlawn High School, class of 2009. From there, I pursued my lifelong dream, entered into the law enforcement profession. That was my career. It's my career. I bought a house in Fairlawn. I got married, started a family. I have a daughter, who's 2.5. I became a small business owner in Fairlawn because I didn't have enough on my plate at the time, so let's add another thing. I've been a volunteer for the emergency services here in town for almost 20 years. During my time there, I was a president of the association for 6 years, where I budgeted and dealt with the member issues and made sure that the building and everything was up to par.
I'm sorry, which association?
Fairlawn Rescue Squad.
Okay.
In my union now, I've been on the executive board for 10 years, where in those 10 years, I've held the position of president for 2 years. So I've had leadership roles, several organizations throughout my career. I have a bachelor's degree in administrative studies from Fairleigh Dickinson University. I have been and always will be committed to Fairlawn, and I have no plans of leaving. This is my home, and I want it for that. I want that for my daughter as well. I'm filling this attempting to fill this vacancy because I believe my experience with leadership and budgeting, understanding collective bargaining agreements, policies, and how they affect the entire organization or the Board of Ed as a whole, whether it's good or bad policy, right? I never ran before. Obviously, timing is very hard sometimes in life to balance a family, a job, a business, right? When this vacancy opened, it actually was the perfect timing. I sat down with my wife, we spoke about it, and she said, yeah, go for it, 100%, you have my support. And I think that was the green light to go ahead and give this a shot. Like I said before, the community and the Board of Ed is phenomenal. It's top-notch, and I would love to give back to the school system that allowed me the success that I have today.
What do you believe are the greatest challenges currently facing this school district? What do you see as the board's role in addressing those challenges? What do you see as the administration's role in addressing those challenges?
So there's obviously many challenges that were spoken about tonight. Two things I want to touch on, importantly, mental health and wellness, right? That's a two-part thing. It's not just mental health, it's mental health and wellness. I know Fairlawn has a phenomenal mental health program. So the board's role is to continue to advocate for resources, right? Approve policies, promote student well-being, and support programs of mental health. So the administration's role is very important, right? So the administration and the Board of Ed should work synergistically together. The administration is the boots on the ground. They are the lifeline and the communication to the board. Obviously, you guys are in the schools. The counselors are in the classrooms. The guidance office communicates directly to you guys, and you guys can pass that information to the board. That will allow the board to make decisions whether things should go certain ways, right? For the positive or for the negative, for the better or for the worse. Obviously, sitting behind a table here, it's hard to make a decision without the information from the administration. So without both of them together, obviously it won't work. The second part is, I believe it's been touched on several times, is financial budget, right? It's critical. It's hard to plan for a building 20 years from now, not knowing what the rate of material, labor, inflation going up and down. Those are important things. So as a board, budgeting is crucial, and the administration letting the board know, hey, in 20 years, in 10 years, 5 years, new air conditioning, new this. Those are all important things. It may not seem like a lot, a new air conditioner in our school, right? But it could be thousands and thousands of dollars, I'm sure everybody knows. So having that money there without burdening the taxpayer or taking from capital grants and federal and state funding is important.
What do you see as the role of a school board member?
Okay, so the role of a school board member is critical, right? So anything voted on today or voted on any meeting this next month, the month after, that could really affect the board's route 10, 15 years from now. And I hope and I know that all board members understand that, right? So your decisions that you vote on and you make impact long-term issues for the Board of Ed. We are a direct link with the superintendent, right? The Board of Education and the superintendent must work together to make policy, enforce policy, and make sure the policy is good policy, right? I think the Board of Ed is responsible, right, for the budgeting, like I spoke about before. Facilities, school safety, paramount. We want school safety number one, protect the kids. Ethical, legal responsibilities, and I hope that the board continues to provide the highest quality of education that they have in the past.
What issues or concerns do you have regarding the school district's operations?
So I would say one thing that's important to a mission, any mission, is the transparency, right? You need to have transparency between the board, administration, parents, teachers, students. And that goes for almost everything in life, really. You know, if you're transparent with people and you're honest with them, I think that is the best policy. I've learned a long time ago in life, you can't make everybody happy, right? So, but if you listen to somebody, it really goes a long way. So if somebody comes up here or somebody comes to you, you just listen to them, right? And as a board collectively, you guys make a decision, you stand by your decision, you really can't beat that, right? No matter how much somebody can complain. So that's important to have a united board and stick together and give people answers that they want, because all they want to do sometimes is just be listened to.
And lastly, what areas would you like to see strengthened in our school district?
So this is a good question. I think that we've got away from the STEM programs. I think they touched, a couple of candidates had touched on it, but STEM is critical and crucial to future after high school, right? We all know that not everybody goes to college, right? So there's different routes. I remember in high school, I took woodshop. I had the late great Mr. Newsom, right? One of the legends of Fairlawn High School. I took wood 2 years, and he taught me more than just carpentry. Right? Instilled life lessons on me that I still carry to this day. Like, those shops are just so important. I've seen I was reading an article in another district in Bergen County. They had a STEM program. They had like a patient bed with a patient in it that was controlled by a teacher, and the student got hands-on with the patient, and it's literally incredible. So somebody thinking about going to the doctor, to be a doctor, to be a nurse, to get that feeling up front, like, hey, maybe they make the patient bleed and the student doesn't like blood. Okay, right there, we can change our minds. Let's change career track. But that's just something to know up front before you go into that next step of life. Okay, thank you all.
Nick, thank you. Do we have any, I'm going to open, this portion of our board meeting is specifically for comments on any matter. When speaking, please state your name and municipality of residence. Limit your remarks to 3 minutes. State law prohibits board members and administrators from discussing personnel matters, student discipline, or other confidential issues. Please note this is not a dialogue or Q&A session between speakers and the board. We may not respond immediately or to every comment made tonight. All input is carefully considered and helps inform our decisions. Please, responses may come through emails, reports, board statements, website updates, or after the comment period closes. Thank you for participation in our school community's governance. The floor is open. Is there anything on the Google Doc?
Yes, there is, Ms. Mahan. Only one comment this evening from the public on the Google Doc. It's from Ms. Ginsburg. Ms. Ginsburg writes, below are some questions for the BOE candidates being interviewed tonight, January 30th meeting. Number one, what differentiates you from other candidates and or board members? What unique qualities would you bring to this role? Are there aspects of your education and experience that you feel would be especially helpful in this position? Describe your specific experience in working with parents and community members. Number two, if selected tonight, what BOE committees would you be most excited to join and why? What ideas and suggestions will you bring to those committee meetings? Number three, how does a school board balance the need to provide a quality education with the need to respond to the local taxpayer burden? And number four, as an individual school board member, how would you handle a situation where the board takes a position which you do not agree with. Thank you and good luck to all of you.
Okay. The floor is closed. I will now open up the floor to board member comments. Ms. Yearman.
Thank you. I would just like to say thank you to everyone that has placed themselves in as a BOE candidate, whether it be the people that had interviews and the people that did not have interviews this evening. And I would recommend that everybody, runs for office in November to try to, there might be some seats open, there might just have the opportunity to try again if you're not selected on this go-round. Thank you.
The floor is closed. Oh, sorry, didn't see your hand, Mr. Santana.
Good evening. I too would like to thank everyone who submitted their resume and their letter of interest to serve the community. And congratulations to all of you who made it to this round. Being on the school board is serving the public. It's a public service. It's a commitment, and we are grateful that you make that step. It's about our children. Our children in Fairlawn are unique. They are each of them have unique talents. They're wonderful, and we have a very diverse community with high expectations for all of our children and our staff. And just like our fellow board member stated, you are encouraged to run for office, and it's about the children, and it's about the children.
The floor is closed. Can I get a motion to recess into closed session?
Second.
We will be recessing into closed session for the purpose of deliberation of the vacant seat. Can I get all in favor? Thank you guys so much. We will be returning into open session and board business will be conducted. I'm just going to ask you guys to excuse yourselves for now. After deliberations, you are welcome to come back if you are still here. To Ms. Mancuso.
Well, I can't.
Well, mine's broken.
Motion to throw at me? Oh, no. I have to remember that.
Oh, no, they probably
throwing things.
Are these off?
I have a vintage one at my school.
No one else's is.
I have a vintage
They're all
one that
daisy
was left
chained,
to me
that's
that
why.
I bought like bazillion years ago.
Give it 1 second and then it'll be good.
There we go. It's just gonna probably take a second to warm up.
Skynet's coming online.
I can, I'm just curious, maybe you have a subscription somewhere?
I'm sure the library has one.
I don't have a subscription, so I'm sure if you order one fast.
Womp womp. This thing don't like me.
It's still, they're all still finding it.
Like this, it's actually really nice though, and
I have a
I'm
loud
like,
voice.
I'm kinda happy that like it was left for me, that I still refer back to it. It's like vintage.
Oh.
It's probably from like a bazillion years ago.
And you broke them.
Probably not even updated.
No.
Right?
Oh,
10:15 p.m. and you broke the microphone.
We just have to reboot the mic since it did get unplugged, so just give it a second, okay?
Who unplugged?
And
Well, why did you put me here?
I believe Dr. Dini's here, placed you there, actually.
It's my fault. Thanks, Ms. Mancuso.
It's an easy
Yep.
scapegoat.
Oh, it's on now. It's working, got it.
One.
Okay. The floor is open for nominations. Ms. Ehrman.
I would like to make a motion for Julie Kasoy to be nominated for the position of a board member on the Fair Lawn Board of Education.
Is there a second?
Yes, I second the motion to nominate Ms. Julie Kosoy for the position of board member.
Are there any other nominations on the floor? Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Baldowski?
Yes.
Dr. Bertolini?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Alia?
Yes.
Ms. Favolovich?
Can you come back to me, please?
Sure. Mr. Santana?
Yes.
Ms. Yerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Mahan?
Yes.
Ms. Favolovich?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Be it resolved that the Fair Lawn Board of Education hereby appoints Julie Kasoy as a member of the Fair Lawn Board of Education to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Michael Rosenberg, effected upon successful completion of the required criminal background check and continuing until the board's next organization meeting in January of 2026. Our upcoming meetings include February 27th, 2025, our regular monthly board meeting, and education of the whole committee, which will take place beginning at 7 p.m. In the Eugene M. Banta Public Meeting Room, room 19 at Edison School. On March 13th, we have our work session for our budget presentation at 7:30 p.m. Edison School, Eugene M. Banta Public Meeting Room, room 19, with our preliminary budget adoption on March 18th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. here in Edison School at the Eugene M. Banta Public Meeting Room, room 19. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming. Have a great night.